Oh, yeah. Oh, what's up? How y'all doing? Y'all ready? Let's get it. Yo, welcome to another episode of Stay Vibrant 365. I am your host. I go by the name of Jay Mas Hugo por favor, or you can just call me Hugo for short. For those of you who don't know me, welcome. It's nice to have you. For those of you who do, sincerely owe y'all an apology. As we already know, I go on these little hiatuses, and to be honest with you, I tend to change my job, my like 9 to 5, more than I change my draws. Um, so that's my excuse for last month. I know I was actually supposed to be dropping a couple episodes then. I did write these out, so that's always awesome. I can just always pick up and record. So again, thank you for rocking with me. And thank you for actually having these conversations with your friends, your family, just conversation starters, icebreakers, to mend, mold, to shape relationships in a world that's so technology driven, where we're always like in our phones and we can actually, have some face to face and have these conversations. It's always, inspiring. I'm inspired that y'all are inspired to have these conversations. So again, I say thank you. And y'all know how I do. I get right into it. I like to get straight to the meat and potatoes. So this series is actually a 3-parter. It will be titled Relationships. And a relationship can be broken down into many different ways. It can be broken down into, in my opinion, 3 aspects, right? You got your intimacy, with your partner, person, your situationship, the one that you get to actually like choose and pick out. You have your family, right? The ones that you don't really get to pick, but they're there. They're part of your life. They've shaped you. They've molded you into who you are and who you're becoming. And then you also have your friends, the family that you actually get to choose. Again, another one that you actually get to choose. So you have a lot of control in how you manage your relationships. And sometimes people get lost in the controlling piece. They let their relationships dictate them and not dictate their relationships. So that's what we'll be talking about, how to manage these relationships and make sure it's healthy for you. So without further ado, we'll be getting into the most juicy piece, right? We'll be starting off with the intimacy piece, you know what I'm saying? You can go ahead, light a candle, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and grab your little boo, cuddle up on the couch, right? Nah, I'm kidding. I ain't even got nothing in it. That's how you know your boy really be using them. Let me chill. So the intimacy piece, what inspired this, right, was reflecting back on my teenage youth. I was a part of an organization with my church, and we had young mentors or young adults that were mentors, and they would speak to us, as teenagers, about life. And I'll never forget my mentor at the time and his wife. They led a group discussion on relationships, and it still holds true to this day. She said, all I want is honesty, loyalty, respect. And if you can't give a young lady that, you need to leave her alone, right? He said, all I want is love, someone to trust, and someone to confide in. As men, we're always so macho and we don't care and we don't have feelings, but when you got that shorty pillow talking, that's the one that you can actually confide in and share your fears, your weaknesses, and someone that actually looks at you and doesn't look at you as weak, they look at you as human, because we're always supposed to be supermen. If that makes any sense. I know my fellas understand that. And many of that still holds true to this day. But at the same time, a lot of relationships don't work because we don't know what we want outside of that, golden standard, right? I say the golden standard for any relationship is, loyalty, respect, show me love, show me off. But what does that really mean? And so because of those lines really aren't defined, we think we can learn to grow and love like one another. And though that might be true, there is like a difference between being in love and having love for somebody. In today's society, like we are really like forced to make decisions instinctively. Like we don't have time to like think about it. It's almost like impulsive. It's here, it's now, it's do it or don't. And we've just been conditioned that way instead of taking our time to really get to know who the other person is. We just assume that they are to know how to treat us when everybody is different. Your love languages are different. The way you communicate is different. The way your nonverbal signals, they're different. And if you've never sat down with your partner to communicate, this is what that means. When I'm silent, I'm not upset, I'm pondering, I'm thinking. Or when I'm silent, I'm happy, I just don't have anything to say. Or if I'm talking a lot and I'm talking really fast, that means I enjoy your presence and your company and I just want to share everything with you. Everybody's language is different, especially in how they communicate. And I read a few blog posts on this as well, factored in by Stephen O'Connor, who led a post titled Three C's for Happiness for Couples, or excuse me, the Three C's for Happy Couples. Really good read, to not necessarily set a standard, but it's a good base for any relationship. And they talk about the three C's: communication, being consistent, and being committed. Definitely really important there. Another site that I actually cited is 10 tips for healthy relationships. And these are just 10 key factors for any relationship. It doesn't even have to be the intimacy piece, but this one is also, again, a good foundation for any relationship that you can just take bits and pieces and apply to your life. And we also have 13 proven ways that a relationship, 13 proven ways to maintain a healthy relationship by Tony Robbins. Also, again, another really good read to actually check out and, take notes. And again, just have that open, clear communication with your partner. So from there, I'll be diving into what I've kind of accumulated to be 5 key factors to maintaining healthy relationships, again, comprised of all of those sources, plus my own experience and my own knowledge. So like I said, I'll be listing here five key factors to maintain that healthy relationship with your significant other and have a good, intimate relationship. So I feel like off rip, one of the most important, number one, is going to be total openness. If you can't let somebody in, how are they going to, really know who you are? And of course, I looked up, all right, so what does it mean to really be open? Well, according to like Oxford, they define being open as a lack of restriction, having accessibility, lack of secrecy or concealment or frankness. To be open, again, in my opinion, is to hear with the intention of listening to what the other party is saying, and to be totally accepting of what your partner is saying and how they feel and what they think, and to lack judgment. Like you don't want to be judging your partner for how they think or what they feel, even if your standards are different. That's fine. You're hearing them, you're understanding, and to be empathetic in a sense to what they're saying and how they feel and what they think. Even if there is a disagreement, there's still a way to be respectful about that. The second key factor here I have is being open and honest. So those two, again, go hand in hand. And honesty has the definition of being free from deceit or untruthfulness, being sincere. And being honest is used to persuade someone of the truth of something. So it is persuading them to the truth, who you actually are, what you actually are, how you actually feel. Um, and I know we've all heard the saying, honesty is the best policy, right? Not to be cliche, but I mean, how can you expect to get what you want out of life by playing it safe, by not being honest, by telling people what they want to hear versus what they need to hear? So make sure your intentions are true, make sure your intentions are clear. And that again applies to your relationship, just being honest. The third one, again, another one, and these are in no particular order, but these are just, again, 5 key factors that are really important in no particular order in maintaining that healthy relationship. And number 3 was being clear and concise and having that communication, right? And again, communication is the imparting or exchanging of information or news, sending or receiving information. And this, again, is one of the major keys of any relationship, because how you communicate is so important. Much more, even more over, the lack of communication is even more important, because again, what you're not sharing with your partner, again, it goes back to the honesty piece as well, um, can be detrimental, like hiding secrecy, or if it's just something that they didn't know about you. Like, you have people that are in relationships that didn't know that their partner is married because they said they were getting a divorce. All right, that's honesty and communication there. If you would have given that person the truth, right, the honesty and the clear communication, you wouldn't be dealing with these ramifications on the back end of somebody that you care about now not wanting to be with you, or that person having feelings for you and they don't know how to feel anymore because they really do like you, but now they can't even look at you the same way because you misconstrued the truth. When you're open and honest with people, people take honesty a lot more better. I don't want to say a lot more better, but they take honesty a lot more, I'll say, well, than lies, because that gives them the autonomy to make a decision on how they want to interact with you from that point forward. Versus, I feel like deceit and not being honest is just selfish, and being controlling of a person. So we really don't want to do that too much. And in communication, again, there it's just much more. It's much more than how you communicate, but it's also about like your tonality and the emphasis on the words that you actually say. That plays a major role as well. I've heard a lot from the women that I've dated. It's not, always what you say, is how you say it. So always make sure you keep a calm, level head, and again, articulate yourself well. Don't get upset. Just be open, honest, and communicate clearly. Number 4 on the list here, I actually have reciprocity. And this is the practice of exchanging things with the mutual benefit of privileges granted by one another. So that means if you can do it, I should be able to do it. No one should be above each other in the relationship. The foundation and boundaries need to be set on what is applicable to, both parties. It's not just one-sided. It's all about compromise as well. And number 5 here, I have commitment. You got to be committed. You got to put in that work. You got to put in that dedication and that motivation to let that person know that you are willing to do what it takes to be with them. And if you're not, you need to communicate that. You need to let them know, hey, this isn't working for me. Regardless of, how it might make them feel short term, at least they do know the truth. And now they're not stuck on you. They can pursue someone who actually is feeling the same thing as them. That reciprocity. It will be someone who's on the same page as them and just as committed as them. So yeah, those are the 5 key factors there. And again, in my opinion, it's an old saying, right? It there's no saying that says you're single until you're married. So there's nothing wrong with dating, and if you find out like the relationship isn't working the way that you want it to, based off of these 5 key factors or other factors that make you uncomfortable or just not fully invested, you need to let your partner know. There's no point in dragging something along. Again, they might be hurt in the short run, but the long run, at least you're not wasting time, energy, and effort in something that you don't want to be in, and you're not deceiving somebody else. Um, unless you and your partner define the parameters of your relationship, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter what any outside people say. Um, Another piece I did want to throw in here as well is what to do if the relationship isn't working out. Um, and is literally the easiest piece for some people, hardest piece, and the hardest piece for others. Is to actually walk away and just leave that person alone. Like literally, time heals all. Um, and you will find your way, and you will find someone who is actually on the same page as you. Again, you don't need to be submissive or submitted or committed to a person who doesn't have like your best interest. Um, if you are having trouble, you know, finding, where to start and creating a stress-free, worryless relationship. Like I said, I did cite those sources on the blog post as well. So you can just click link there and it'll take you to those links to see what leading psychologists and university professors have to say about it. And they spend a lot of time like doing their research on these on these aspects. I'm talking like pages upon pages of detail-oriented information on maintaining these healthy relationships. But yeah, that's all I have for you. Again, questions, comments, concerns, feel free, type me a message, send me a message, DM me, or comment on the actual post. I hope you did enjoy this segment here on the intimacy piece of relationships, and stay tuned for part 2, family, and 3, friends, the family that you get to choose. Peace out, y'all.